So let's get into. We have talked about this guy before. We've talked about this guy before. There's no good segue from chimp grooming videos into almost anything else. Almost. But we may have found a segue here, guys. Grooming. Grooming. It's a thing that happens. It's a thing that happens even, I think, when people don't even intend to do that, to do this kind of stuff. It's almost like social contagion. There's so many things, like weird quirks people have these days, or we're all just like so hyper kind of connected in a way that we're just aware that there's a lot of people out there that do weird shit. Just like this guy. This dude.
On all my social media.
This dude is named Tobyn Jacobs. Tobyn Jacobs, I think we have seen a short version of this video before, or maybe before he made this video, but he has, I think he's either going to retire soon or something. He came back up into my vision. I've seen him. Came into my vision again. My vision quest. Just jumped right in there. And this guy, what he does is he makes like really big, giant cutouts of like anime girls, and he like puts them all over his house. I'm very fascinated by this person. I don't know how he affords all this shit. I was like looking at this stuff and like the materials of this stuff. I mean, he's got to be spending so much money even just to make one or two of these things. It's pretty wild. But people like that do this kind of weird shit, I think they kind of almost like in a social contagion way spread things like fetishes. They kind of like normalize being like fetishizing stuff. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if like indulging in your obsessions or your interests to the degree that this person has is very healthy. And now that we're all connected, we all get to see it and he gets to share it. And then he gets to infect it with like audience capture. So he starts doing it more and more and more. And like, it's just like this vicious cycle. It's kind of like DBDR, who we're going to check in with in a little bit. It's like DBDR. He's kind of caught in that same kind of content loop. DBDR can't ever fix his life if he wants attention. The day like he goes on a date and it goes well and he cops to it, it's over, bro. It's over. But let's see what this guy's about. Maybe I'm making a hasty judgments. You know, I'm always happy to be wrong. Prof says, "Nah, man, normalize the coom. It's literally never had bad consequences before." No, never. Of course not. Never. Not even one time. Trust me. Trust me. I'm a doctor, just like that chimp.
Media accounts, many people are confused with the giant paper art I make, with one question surfacing the most, that being why, or why are you doing this? And therefore, I'm going to explain why I make these massive cutouts alongside anime girl, insane asylums, and anything else I make. This video is going to be...
He's like, okay, like, listen, he's saying he's going to tell us why he does it. So I hope it's an actual, it's an actual explanation. And not something where he actually doesn't answer the question, because he's going to be too clever for that. He's going to be like, oh, you know, it's art. Why do we do what we do? Why do we create what we create? Something deep down inside from the bottom of my soul just wants me to make anime girl insane asylum rooms for me to jerk off in. I mean, look at it like an art exhibit. Drumming says DBDR with a sandwich bag of BBW scat to have for lunch at work.
The most candid video I've ever made, as I talk about my philosophy on being yourself and clarify what I get out of it and my vision is in the future. But first I'll talk about the more obvious point, which is that I find what I make cool. Generally, the type of content I make is the type of content I would want to see if I wasn't myself. Like, the idea of giant anime cutouts existing is so cool to me. I personally like the field of craft I'm in, especially since it's so surreal, since, like, rather than looking at something like a drawing or a painting, or even playing a video game and seeing the world it portrays through a screen, with some of the things that I make, it's almost like you're instead in that world and someone grabbed you through the screen and pulled you in. And that part I really enjoy about what I make. Like, some of the rooms that I've made look looks straight up like you're in a game walking through a map with a modded texture, or it feels like I'm looking at a real-life next spot. So overall, like, the feeling of surreality I get from what I make is all very cool, as it's like I have my own little museum. And that's really the value that I get out of it, and why I do it. The second reason...
So he... What? Hold on. So he just does this because that's who he is, and he enjoys it, and that's why he does it. Am I getting that right? That can't be real. I just wanted to be myself. Hold on.
Screened and pulled you in, and that part I really enjoy about what I make. Like, some of the rooms that I've made look straight up like you're in a game walking through a map with a modded...
Okay, all right, sorry. I think I was checking on the next thing before, and I must have missed that.
Texture, or it feels like I'm looking at a real-life next spot. So overall, like, the feeling of surreality I get from what I make is all very cool, as it's like I have my own little museum. And that's really the value that I get out of it, and why I do it. The second reason is because I'm a content creator. I want to make better things than what I'm doing currently now. Some of my creative goals I have currently is to make a cutout that's over 100 feet standing, to create giant...
But why? But why? Like, I mean, listen, a brother's got to have goals. You got to have a reason to live. So, you know, this kind of refers back to when we were watching that the video of that Australian guy who goes to the island and he's like looking at their leaves and being, oh my God, look at the craftsmanship on this, mate. Like, this is kind of another example of that. Like, we used to build like the Sistine Chapel. We used to carve beautiful ornate statues, you know, out of fucking marble and rock. We used to build castles. We were proud of our architecture. We had divine inspiration. We were looking to something bigger than ourselves, you know? And we were celebrating that. And this is what we're celebrating now. This is the goal of the young person now. This is how they express themselves. This is their divine spark. Big-tittied anime girls. Big-tittied anime girls. This is the way. This is the way. Like, imagine what this kid could accomplish with the time and effort that he puts in to making these. It's kind of a fucking tragedy because the kid's obviously not an idiot. The kid obviously has talent. And he's just driving all of that into this. Good God. Like, people need parents. People need dads and moms. They got to get involved in your kid's life, for Christ's sakes. This does not happen overnight. This doesn't occur. This is not something that occurred in a vacuum. I don't know. Prophet says, all these guys have this voice. I hate it. The low T squeak. He sounds 8. He also says, divine inspiration. Can't coom to it. Just move on, bro. So, I mean, you could probably, if you really wanted to, you could coom to a lot of, you know, ancient art. What are you talking about? All these people half naked all the time. Thick girls everywhere. It was kind of nice. Trellick says, man, I could go on for hours about how much I hate the voices of so many YouTubers, especially film essayist jerk-offs. I don't think I've ever done a film essay. Have I ever done a film essay? I don't think so. I guess I did one that was about a bunch of Macbeth adaptations. That's as close as I've ever gotten. So I'm clear. I'm in the clear.
30-foot tall paper models just like this, but upscaled. And yes, the giant cutout of Speedwagon that I've been planning for like 2 years now. So I do what I do because I have ambitions to make cooler things by growing on social media. I bring this up as one of my points because... Yeah,
like cooler things like bigger anime girls, you know? Like even taller anime girls. Just cooler stuff. Bigger breasts.
I do think that a lot of people think I'm just doing this for laughs and giggles, and while that is true, my goal also in the future is to have what I make be able to pay for a lot of the bigger projects I want to make in the future, whether it's more paper stuff or even...
But he can't part with them. His whole house is full of this shit. He can't part with a single one. He loves them all individually. He's like that. A long time ago, we watched this mini doc about this divorcee, like 50-year-old guy who got into buying real dolls and got like really into it. He was like very attached to all of them, and he would dress them up and put wigs on them and have dinner with them and put them in different places around the house. This is kind of, I imagine that's what he does. I mean, why not, right? It's just who he is. Trembling says they all saw every frame of a painting and copied that shit with gayer and gayer cadences. This is true.
Like a game eventually I want to make years down the line. But I think because of how strange and unhinged the stuff I make looked, it's hard to imagine that I have aspirations, as I feel people think I'm just mentally deranged and that's all. Which I can't really blame, considering if you look at this picture, I do not think this is what a normal, sane person's house looks like. But the third reason is just my...
Also, low-key, his low humble brag there, his house. It's his house. What a bastard. What a fuck.
philosophy on being yourself. I post the things that I do because I simply want to, and I'm not really afraid to showcase a side of myself which could be seen as embarrassing, as not posting these things would mean people not knowing who I truly am, and doing that is exhausting, being something that you're not, and never letting your creative urges out, as it's just very free.
Okay, listen, he gets a pass on Masato, okay? You know, I'm an Evangelion fan, so he gets a pass here. This is the one not weird thing that he's done. You heard it here first.
As I feel many people are scared of looking weird by being who they really are, and when you do that, your soul suffers as you're not living the way that your heart wants to be. Why?
Oh my God. Yeah, but that's the problem, buddy, is that this is what your heart wants to be, is to be a coomer. I understand that it's going to cause you mental anguish. You may want to just like talk to somebody, go to, I don't know, would therapy work? Psychotherapy. Okay. Shock therapy, maybe. Any kind of therapy. Just give it a shot. That's all I'm saying. You're a talented kid. Don't waste your time. Just why is your heart telling you to do this? Prof says this guy listens to Dave Packman saying that the economy is good and crime is down and sighs contentedly and falls asleep in his Batmobile bed. Yeah, while he's surrounded by his paper mache girlfriend. Trelming says this kind of reminds me of this. We'll check it out next.
I also do my art is because I like genuineness. All the posts that I make in a way can be seen as vulnerable, as it's easy to make fun of what I post. However, showcasing this side of me is also what makes me feel alive, as I'm no longer hiding my true self.
Yeah, that's because it's a fetish. It's a kink. You want to do it in public. Like you want people to know this about you. You get off of it, on it. You get off on it, dude. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just what it just is what it fucking is. But I also really get a lot of pleasure when people know that I'm weird.
It's easy to make fun of what I post. However, showcasing this side of me is also what makes me feel alive, as I'm no longer hiding my true self, and therefore can be much more candid with people I meet, as chances are they will.
I mean, listen, the memeability of some of these things is funny. Like, don't get me wrong. This is a stupid funny image. And it would be cool if he just did it a few times to make some memes. But I guess, hey, who am I to say? Without this kind of dedication, without this kind of drive, maybe these things wouldn't be what they are. They wouldn't be so goddamn impressive, and they sure as fuck wouldn't be from his heart.
Or already know that I'm a crazy art waifu person and don't have to pretend that I don't do strange things or think, what if they think of me differently if they knew when talking to someone? And therefore, it's good because, it's more of a genuine interaction. If they know more who I truly am, I don't have to put up a facade, as it's really hard to have a moment feel meaningful if you're being fake and not speaking with your heart and being honest. Now, of course,
Trumping said this is also Dan's future with his figures.
Of course, I wouldn't go to an In-N-Out drive-thru and say, before you talk to me, it's a requirement that you know the existence of the Hololive room and what a deranged anime nutjob I am, or else this conversation is meaningless. But for the type of people you see more often, I'm the type who likes being open and dislikes small talk when it's not really needed, so it helps in being yourself. So in summary, I like making what I make just because I can't be anyone else other than me, and enjoy what I make because it's cool, and have long-term goals to make even cooler things in the future via making stuff currently to be able to...
Oh my God. If he was doing something else, if he was doing something like productive or using his talents in a way that was not a little less weird, we would all be like, oh, good for you, dude. Good putting yourself out there. That's amazing. That's great. But what he's doing, the fact that this is what he's putting all of his energy to, you're like, please just stop. Please go talk to somebody. This is not healthy. Prophet says, I'm going to have every April O'Neil, everyone.
To fund my future ideas, but that's pretty much it. Goodbye then.
Goodbye then. We're going to watch a little bit more of this guy. He was recently on a podcast, but the people that did the podcast made a little video. Before that, let's check out this video Trembling sent.